This is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Madison's long search for a police chief is over, but the decision is not unanimous.
The Police and Fire Commission voted on a split 3-2 vote this afternoon to offer the job to Dr. Sean Barnes. Our Naomi Coles joins us with more. Naomi?
Susan, those two commissioners voting against the decision said that their top choice had been Ramon Batista. Batista was also the top choice of many community advocates who spoke out in public comment. Now, the decision came after about 90 minutes in closed session and also about an hour of public comment. The newly appointed Civilian Oversight Board asked the PFC to delay its decision until they could pass on a formal recommendation. Many shared their thoughts along the way.
You, the board, Madison Fire Department, Police and Fire, should identify the best candidate regardless of policies, politics, and any pressure that you are under. So do your jobs.
In a statement, the Madison Police Department thanked the PFC for their hard work and that the department looked forward to a smooth transition and working with Dr. Barnes. Now, Dr. Barnes was the only black candidate in this list of finalists. He's currently serving in the Civilian Office of Police Accountability in Chicago. He also comes from past leadership roles in police departments in Greensboro and Salisbury, North Carolina.
All right, Naomi, thank you. Right now, Governor Evers calling on the federal government to send more Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine to Wisconsin. Governor Evers says Wisconsin was promised nearly 50,000 vaccines this week, but has only received 35,100 doses. The governor says it is unacceptable, and Wisconsin citizens deserve the vaccine that the federal government promised. Wisconsin officials are also asking for some clarity on vaccine allocations. The federal government gives states a heads up of the vaccine distribution just a few days before they are set to arrive, which makes it very challenging for planning.
The FDA is expected to approve a second coronavirus vaccine for emergency use as early as today. Federal officials say nearly 6 million doses of Moderna's vaccine could be shipped across the country as soon as next week if approved. The Moderna vaccine was 94% effective in trials and does not require the ultra-cold storage that Pfizer's vaccine does.
Whether you get a vaccine when the time comes might not be up to you. It could be your employer making that call.
This week, the EEOC issued guidance saying that employers can require it. Amanda Quintana is outside SSM Health St. Mary's Hospital with the details. Amanda?
Yes, well, right now it is still just those frontline workers that are getting the vaccine here at SSM Health, UW Health, and Meritor. They're all saying that it is not a requirement, but it is, of course, the frontline healthcare workers do want to get the vaccine. A lot of them do want to get it. It's voluntary. But now in the spring, when it becomes available to the general public, it'll be up to other employers to decide if they want to make it mandatory for them.
Just based on my long-time experience with Dane County and Madison employers, I do anticipate a lot of Madison employers requiring vaccination to return.
Employment attorney Nick Fairweather is preparing for what he imagines will be a large number of calls over the spring and summer, as some employers make it mandatory that their workers get a COVID-19 vaccine.
I do see a pretty big potential significant potential for employees to have disputes with employers and, in situations that could potentially end a job and have a pretty significant impact on an individual's career.
Similarly to how many protested mask mandates, Fairweather thinks tension could arise here too. The two biggest exceptions would be for those with certain disabilities or religious objections. Federal guidance says employers would need to make accommodations for these employees, such as moving them to an area with fewer customers or requiring them to wear a mask. But if they still pose a threat, they can be fired.
In many ways, it's much easier for an employer to simply say, I'm going to encourage it. I'm going to strongly recommend it. I'm going to make it easy for you.
UW-Madison law and bioethics professor Alta Sharo thinks most businesses will take this route, maybe even incentivizing getting the vaccine with perks like first-to-pick vacation days.
It helps you avoid the kind of emotional resentment at being told what to do that leads even reasonable people to sometimes say no.
She says although voluntary compliance has worked in public health in the past, many times even better than mandates, this pandemic is an example of the political divide making it much harder. Still, her advice?
Wait until you've seen that voluntary doesn't work before you contemplate the pros and cons of trying to make this mandatory.
Charo says employers have some time to learn about the law and to decide if they want to make it mandatory. They can also learn from the health systems like SSM Health that are making it voluntary, so they'll see how many of their employees actually decide to get the vaccine.
Amanda Quintana reporting outside St. Mary's Son. Amanda, thank you. Getting a vaccine, of course, in your arm, it requires someone giving you that vaccine.
We've heard from the recipients this week, but tonight we're hearing from the first people to give the vaccine. Madeline O'Neill tells us how they're viewing this historic moment.
It's the season for giving, and no one knows that better than healthcare workers. For months, they've been pouring themselves into treating patients and tackling the pandemic. Amanda Lewis, an employee health nurse at SSM Health St. Mary's, says the vaccine brings with it a dose of hope, even though she's only giving it and has yet to receive it. She says she was honored to give the first vaccine at St. Mary's Tuesday.
So I remember walking down the hall with the vaccine, and I was like, okay, I'm all pumped. I can do this. I can do this. We opened the doors, and there was all these people standing there waiting to watch the historical moment. And I just remember going, oh my goodness, I am now very nervous. At the end, when I was finished, I just remember being in awe, being like, this is history. I just made history.
St. Mary's estimates they'll have vaccinated about 1,500 employees in Madison by the end of today. UW Health expects to vaccinate more than 1,000 frontline employees this week, with operations ramping up in coming weeks. Coming up on News 3 Now at 6, you'll hear from the first person at UW Health to give a vaccine and why that was so meaningful. In Madison, Madeline O'Neill, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. Unity Point Health Meriter expects to receive its shipment of vaccines next week. President-elect Joe Biden and incoming First Lady Dr. Jill Biden will receive their first dose of Pfizer's COVID vaccine on Monday. Pfizer's vaccine requires 2 doses administered several weeks apart. Vice President-elect Senator Kamala Harris and her husband Doug Emhoff will receive the vaccine the following week. Earlier today, Vice President Mike Pence, his wife Karen, and the Surgeon General all received the COVID-19 vaccine in an effort to promote its safety and boost public confidence.
Another 56 Wisconsinites have died of COVID-19, and we're inching closer to 4,500 deaths through the pandemic. We've also added another 3,200 cases in the state of Wisconsin. The Department of Health Services says about 39,000 people currently are battling COVID in the state. Models that predict outcomes for COVID-19 suggest deaths this spring will be even higher than predicted just a week ago. The University of Washington expects 562,000 Americans will have died from COVID-19 by the 1st of April. Last week, they predicted 502,000 deaths by that same date. The Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation says that increase is due to surges in cases and deaths, with particularly large increases in the state of California. The IHME says the current vaccination rollout could save more than 34,000 lives by April 1st.
A government shutdown looms at midnight as lawmakers on Capitol Hill work toward a funding bill and a COVID relief package. Lawmakers could pass a short-term funding extension to avoid a shutdown at midnight, with plans to continue working through the weekend. Congress is trying to work out 2 deals, a $900 billion COVID-19 relief plan tied to a $1.4 trillion funding package. Some lawmakers remain less optimistic about negotiations.
They need a short-term extension of government funding in order to make sure that both of the bills are done and that we can pass them.
I'm even more optimistic now than I was last night that a bipartisan, bicameral framework for a major rescue package is very close at hand.
Republicans want to add a provision to limit the Federal Reserve's emergency lending authority, but some Democrats say that's a deal breaker.
Restaurant owners are asking for more government help today to help them make it through the winter months.
Without assistance, a lot of us aren't going to exist in 2021.
It's part 3 of our conversation with the Madison restaurant community, including a conversation with Francesca Hong. She's a local restaurant owner who is about to represent Madison in the state assembly. You can find that full story online at channel3000.com. And we are continuing to highlight how you can help support your favorite local spots this holiday season. And today we're talking about Merchant, just off the Capitol Square. They have dine-in, curbside pickup, and delivery available right now. You can find all that information along with a list of other restaurants that could use your help. That's at channel3000.com. Cloudy Friday. We could see some wintry weather this weekend. A look at your first warning forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, I want to temper that. Right now, it looks like we're just going to see minimal effects, mainly in the form of some flurries or maybe a little bit of light freezing drizzle later tonight into tomorrow morning. I think most of that should be done after that. The rest of the weekend should be relatively quiet. As we look at the live view from the WISC TV camera, looking out toward the east, skies are mostly cloudy. Not seeing any precipitation here yet. There's some light snow in the northern part of the Midwest, but as a weak cold front moves through, there's the possibility of seeing some flurries or freezing drizzle later tonight into tomorrow morning. Again, I don't think that we're going to see too much of an impact. The heavier snow will stay to our north. Low temperatures this morning dropped to around 10 degrees here in Madison with partly cloudy skies overnight, but the clouds moved in. Temperatures only made it into the low 30s this afternoon, but we may see those temperatures still go up another couple of degrees yet this evening. In fact, right now we're at our high temperature levels for today. And as we check out wind chills right now, they're in the middle 20s. Visibilities right now generally between about 5 and 10 miles. Again, there might be a little bit of light fog, and we'll see some flurries or freezing drizzle overnight. Otherwise, just look for cloudy skies. Temperatures dropping to around 30 by tomorrow morning. High temperature tomorrow only at 34, so that cloud cover keeping our temperatures from moving very much. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes some snow just before Christmas.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Dane County Sheriff's Office and Madison Fire Department say they have made several rescues today after people fell through some thin ice.
They're telling people to stay off the ice this weekend. Our Adam Duxter is at Monona Bay with the latest. Adam?
Well, even though it's dark outside and the sun has completely set here over Monona Bay, believe it or not, there's still a few stragglers left out on the ice. And just about a half hour ago, there's maybe 36 people out here on the ice, whether they be ice fishermen, ice skaters. There's even a pickup hockey game. And the Dane County Sheriff's Office and Madison Fire say that's exactly what they're warning against after they made 3 separate ice rescues today alone. Now, we're told those rescues came from this morning to this afternoon, right near here along Lake Wingra, but also on Mud Lake and Crystal Lake. And while all 3 people ended up being okay, we're told one of those ice fishermen ended up losing everything that they came with. And Madison Fire's Lake Rescue Division says, well, you might see some ice along the water at this point. Odds are the lakes have not been frozen long enough yet for it to be safe for it to be out there much longer than a few minutes. So this weekend, they really are urging people, even though it might be tempting to get outside and socially distance while doing some ice fishing or maybe some ice skating, these lakes are just not frozen enough to be out on. And you'll hear from Madison Fire Department coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Adam Duxter live on Monona Bay. Be safe out there, folks. And 2 people have been arrested following a shooting. This happened last week in Sun Prairie. Earlier today, the Sun Prairie PD, along with multiple Dane County agencies, executed 4 search warrants, including one at the intersection of Pilgrim and Canterbury on Madison's west side and at a property in Stoughton. Police say 19-year-old Trenton Holston from Sun Prairie and a 16-year-old boy from Madison were arrested. Officers say the shooting happened last Wednesday at the intersection of West Main Street and Claremar Drive in Sun Prairie. No one was injured. Officers say the 16-year-old is the accused shooter here, could face a first-degree attempted homicide charge. Holston could face a charge of first-degree attempted homicide party to a crime. Officials say this investigation is ongoing. More to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County partnering with local organizations to bring some extra holiday cheer for some area families. We'll tell you how ahead at 5. And coming up tonight at 6, a local school choir finds a creative way to continue its Christmas tradition safely. That story next hour on News 3 Now at 6. Quick look at the markets. Some red numbers to close the week on Wall Street. The Dow falls 124. The NASDAQ loses 9. The S&P 500 off a baker's dozen. We'll be right back.
Menards carries everything you need to keep your vehicle running smoothly. Cold weather is hard on your vehicle. Get a reliable AC Delco battery. We carry different sizes needed for most cars and trucks. All stock AC Delco batteries are on sale. Protect your engines against all types of deposits at all temperatures with Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic Motor Oil. Pick up a quart for $4.49 at Menards. Plus, give the perfect gift with a Menards gift card.
More season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Spread holiday cheer and save more than ever at the Century House. Right now, give $50 or more to charity and get $400 off stressless Mayfair recliners in all Paloma leather colors and $300 off most other stressless recliners. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. 'Tis the season to give a little and save big on stressless furniture. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
We're going to find the perfect treat.
We're going skating. We're going to Nana's.
Wherever you go this holiday, Chevy can help you get there.
Which is why we're making our Chevy employee discount available to everyone.
The Chevy price you pay is what we pay.
Not a cent more. So wherever you go, happy holidays from Chevy.
Use the Chevy employee discount for everyone to get over $5,200 below MSRP on this Traverse. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
In 1912, Leon L. Bean sold his first batch of 100 boots, 90 of them leaked. He refunded every pair and then perfected them. Because if it wasn't comfortable, he didn't want people to have it. This holiday season, we want to help you give the warmest, coziest, longest-lasting gifts on Earth and make you feel more comfortable than you have in a long, long time.
In the latest issue of Madison Magazine, restaurants get creative to survive a COVID winter. Saucy suggestions for elevating meals at home. A public market progress report. And amazing art for your home collection. Madison Magazine on newsstands now. Wisconsin weather can be frustrating. Get the latest forecast, alerts, and detailed traffic reports from the News 3 Now team. On air, online, and download the Channel 3000 First Warn app. Be the first to know what's headed our way.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear from the first people in Wisconsin to administer COVID-19 vaccines and how they feel about their role in this historic moment. And a local school choir finds a creative way to continue their Christmas tradition safely.
We're called First Warn Weather for a reason.
Our First Warn Weather team has been bracing us for this snow chance now for the past 10 days.
And when the winter storm hit,
this has been the zone that's likely to get the heaviest snow.
Our team kept you informed with the area's best coverage. Trust the First Warn Weather team on News 3 Now.
Many families in our area are in need of meals more than ever, especially during the pandemic.
As News 3 Now photojournalist Lance Height shows us, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County is teaming up with local businesses to make sure that families have something sweet during the holiday season.
It started with an anonymous donor named Tim Metcalf. He actually had the idea of having some I Can Frost community bakers come together and support this effort, and also brought in Klassen's European Bakery, and they together have provided us with 400 pies.
I like baking more than I like eating. We're the Hillcrest Bakers. Today we've got cinnamon rolls, and we call these our divine cinnamon rolls. They are soft and pillowy, like you can see in this dough. It's really rich dough. A donor found out about our pie event and had specifically requested some cinnamon rolls and said, if I can get some cinnamon rolls, I will donate pies to the Boys and Girls Club. So we've now made 25 pies specifically for the Boys and Girls Club. We really wanted to just use our skills in the kitchen to do some good in the community.
We're delivering pies to the Boys and Girls Clubs in Madison. When I was contacted, Tim told me that they need 400 pies and they have 25 so far. I'm like, It's part of who we are, and I mean, I believe in nobody should go hungry. This meal is our way of saying, here you go, eat, enjoy Christmas. So
it's from community to community, so that's what makes this partnership so beautiful.
Something good, everybody. Now let's get a check on the weekend forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti has the details. Gary?
Well, right now it's mostly cloudy across southern Wisconsin, but we're not seeing much in the way of precipitation. Most of that is in the northern part of the state. This is actually with a weak cold front that will be moving through and could generate a few flurries or a little patchy freezing drizzle later tonight into tomorrow morning with temperatures just slightly below freezing. Three things you need to know in the forecast. That will move through pretty quickly. And then after that, just look for seasonably cold weather with high temperatures in the 30s as we head into the first half of next week. Still looking at a chance for some light snow in the Tuesday night to Wednesday time frame. Could even linger a little bit into Christmas Eve Thursday. Looking at those computer model forecasts again as we head toward the Christmas holiday. This begins Tuesday at 6 p.m. The European computer model takes a storm system a little more northerly track. Notice how the snow from that storm system stays mainly in the northern part of the Midwest, but then the storm kind of slows down and gives us a chance for maybe a couple more inches of snow accumulation, and this could linger into Christmas Eve if this forecast is correct. From this computer model, we're back up into the several inch range over southern Wisconsin, still looking for heavier snow up in northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. The U.S. Computer model, the future track model, keeps that storm mainly up to the north and then takes it into Canada. Just the tail end of the storm kind of swipes through much of southern Wisconsin, and so at this point, Christmas Eve would be mainly dry with some sunshine, and the heaviest snow shifts way to the north up toward the UP of Michigan. Here in southern Wisconsin, probably less than an inch of snow. So again, still some conflicts in the computer models as we look into the middle part of next week. But right now, this weather system coming through, not very strong because you can see just a little dip in the jet stream. As we look at the surface weather map, there's the cold front to the west, and you can see as we zoom back into the Midwest, temperatures are mainly in the 20s to lower 30s through Wisconsin. These temperatures aren't going to change very much overnight. For tomorrow, look for mostly cloudy skies, maybe a flurry, a little patchy freezing drizzle in the morning, high temperature at 34, 7 to 10 day forecast. Temperatures in the 30s through the early part of next week. That snow chance about Wednesday, and then much colder, only 14 for a high on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, a high of 20, and then temperatures back a little closer to average as we head toward next weekend. As we take a look at first warn traffic, right now, things actually pretty quiet on the Beltline. We had some delays earlier right around Monona Drive on the eastbound Beltline, but for the weekend, heading into the weekend, travel time's pretty good. About 16 to 17 minutes either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. 27 minutes now to Janesville on I-3990 from the Beltline southward. 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 and 16 minutes on East Washington Avenue and US 151 to Sun Prairie. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, the Badger men's basketball team showing off a new look tomorrow. Tell you who helped design the new uniforms. That's ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Imagine life in that, or that. Having zero stress. Wasting zero energy worrying. 0 days wanting less seats, more seats, and 0 regrets. Imagine that. 0 reasons not to get into a Volkswagen, especially now that you can start shopping from home. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign and Drive event and miss the 2021 Atlas V6 ST Tech 4 Motion today. 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month payment, and 0 due at signing.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to PowerSwabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. PowerSwabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stained caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, PowerSwabs can target that area using swab precision.
I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
So this holiday season, if you have yellowing between your teeth or coffee stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes or an hour, and start using the PowerSwabs 5-minute solution. Just snap, swab, and smile.
After just 7 days, the results were awesome. Power Swabs was easy to use every day, and each day I could see it better and better, and from beginning to end, it's definitely whiter. They look clean, they feel clean, and people have made comments about it, which is nice.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This holiday season, order Power Swabs and receive up to 40% off the retail price. Get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick pen with your order. The Quick Stick pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 40% on your purchase and your free Quick Stick pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
Unity Point Health presents things you need to know about healthcare workers. They're real people just like us. They have houses and families, and they like to eat spaghetti. At least I bet they like to eat spaghetti. They care for everybody, even people they don't know. They might worry about getting sick, their family, their patients. Tell them thank you by wearing a mask and social distancing. Thank you, healthcare workers. Unity Point Health Meritor, a partner of UW Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
The Badger men's basketball team is getting some new threads. Here are Wisconsin's alternate uniforms. They were designed by the seniors, Brad Davison, Aleem Ford, Micah Potter, and Demetra Trice. They'll wear the uniforms tomorrow when the 12th-ranked Badgers face off against the 23rd-ranked Louisville Cardinals at the Kohl Center. Tip-off is scheduled for 11 a.m.
Pretty cool. Christmas came early for the great-grandmother of Anissa Scott, the 11-year-old who was shot and killed in an act of gun violence this summer. Now, a couple weeks ago, we shared that the Boys and Girls Club and a handful of community organizations were giving Irina Alexander a free home makeover after she lost 5 family members this year. Today was the big reveal of her new home. Miss Irene was overwhelmed with emotion when she saw it for the first time.
I think I'm dreaming and I don't want to wake up. It's so unbelievable. It's so beautiful.
Is this moment everything you expected it to be?
And more.
And tonight at 6, our Jamie Perez will show us what her new home looks like, plus Miss Irene's reaction the moment she walked in. Don't miss that. Stay with us for a final check of your firstborn forecast in just a moment.
Plan a perfect staycation at the Madison Concourse Hotel and Governors Club. Bring the family to enjoy our indoor pool or reconnect with the couples getaway in our Governors Club, serving complimentary cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and breakfast. Gift certificates are available. Visit concoursehotel.com.
My husband's parents were visiting, and I promised them a home-cooked meal, except my boss had a different idea. He tells me, hold your horses. I call my husband, and I say, I'm slammed, and he's like, Quick Trip, and I'm like, bingo. At Quick Trip, I say, what's good tonight? And the Quick Trip guy is like, everything, but I go for the hand-breaded fried chicken, and I go, make that ×4. Being none the wiser, my mother-in-law is like, I always said she's a keeper. I'll run with that.
Quick Trip, we got you covered.
Finding the perfect pillow can be overwhelming. So many cheap pillows out there. Are you really getting the quality and support you need for a great night's sleep? That's why Denver Mattress turned to a neurosurgeon.
I've been recommending Doctor's Choice for 20 years. And while finding a great mattress is important to a healthy, restorative sleep, you also need the right pillow. The Doctor's Choice pillow by Denver Mattress is the only pillow that I use and recommend to my patients.
So follow the doctor's orders with the Doctor's Choice pillow. Packed with hypoallergenic down alternative microfiber and made in the USA at our very own Denver Mattress Factory. The Doctor's Choice pillow provides the ultimate neck riddling comfort and support. And for a limited time, when you buy one Doctor's Choice jumbo pillow, you get the second free. That's right, 2 pillows for only $69.99 plus free shipping. And every pillow comes with our 365-night better sleep guarantee. Shop in-store or online and get your Doctor's Choice pillow today. But hurry, this offer won't last.
You have over 30 years of memories in this house. The most valuable things you'll ever own. and that is why we exist.
There's always a way to make joy, America, so it's time to get to it. And with the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event, we're here to help. We're giving you the best deals of the season on the adventure-ready Ford Ranger and the Built Ford Tough Ford F-150 to help you make some extra joy this year. Because this season will be as bright as ever. Ford, Built for the Holidays. Get F-150 with $95.22 in total savings, plus 1,000 trade assist during the final days of the Built for the Holidays sales event.
Plan a perfect staycation at the Madison Concourse Hotel and Governors Club. Bring the family to enjoy our indoor pool or reconnect with the couples getaway in our Governors Club, serving complimentary cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and breakfast. Gift certificates are available. Visit concoursehotel.com.
Welcome back, everyone. This just in, the House has passed a 2-day stopgap spending bill to avert a partial government shutdown this weekend. It's part of an effort by lawmakers to buy additional time for negotiations on an almost $1 trillion COVID-19 economic relief package. But Senate action isn't guaranteed as a midnight deadline looms. The hoped-for agreement would provide more than $300 billion in aid to businesses, a $300 per week bonus, federal jobless benefit, and $600 direct payments to individuals.
Well, more on that coming up next on the CBS Evening News. Let's go to Gary quick for a final check.
Yeah, you can see on high-resolution Doppler, maybe some flurries moving through southern Wisconsin. Temperatures are actually slightly above freezing. You can see these are right at freezing, so we could see some flurries, maybe a little patchy freezing drizzle. Temperatures dropping to around 30 overnight, high tomorrow in the mid-30s, and then look for above normal temperatures before Christmas and below normal temperatures for the Christmas holiday.
All right, Gary, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes with more local news. CBS Evening News is next.